Midco Sports Network presents a North Dakota Hockey Frozen Four special on location in Boston. Presented by the University of North Dakota, the Sioux Shop, inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, American Tire and American Tire South, BioLife Plasma Services, Hugo's Family Marketplace, and Networking Specialists.
The TD Garden in downtown Boston, home to college hockey's biggest stage, the 2015 Frozen Four. Welcome to North Dakota Hockey with Dave Hackstall, Frozen Four Special. I'm Dan Hammer. From the minute North Dakota departed Philadelphia last April, it was its goal to return to the Frozen Four. Mission accomplished. And tonight, it looks to continue its quest for a possible 8th national championship. On tonight's show, we'll get some final comments from head coach Dave Hackstall. UND's leading scorer, Drake Kajula, will dissect some of his most electrifying goals. And we'll hear from John Bucci, who will call the game tonight on ESPN2. Tonight's matchup, #1 North Dakota against #2 BU, is a contrast of styles. North Dakota is experienced and deep. BU very young yet highly skilled. And tonight's game also features 2 of the 3 Hobie Baker hat trick finalists. North Dakota goaltender Zane McIntyre and freshman phenom BU forward Jack Eichel. Well, there's no doubt about it. The big reason why North Dakota has returned to the Frozen Four is the play of McIntyre. The junior goaltender from Thief River Falls, Minnesota, is having a record year for UND, and tonight he looks to take his team to the national championship game. He's put together one of the greatest seasons by any North Dakota goaltender.
He's got the raw talent, and he's also got that great work ethic that makes him so good. He's our leader. He's our best player.
The best goaltender in the nation.
Zane McIntyre is North Dakota's MVP.
There's a lot that goes into it and maybe meets the eye, but it's all for a good reason, and it's all part about being a professional.
Zane loves being a goaltender. He loves coming to practice. He loves finding ways to get better.
Go! Goalie coach Carl Gehring knows McIntyre as well as anyone.
He's put the time in. He's learned as much as he can about his craft and how to improve, and he's just so much fun to work with. Every day he comes in and he's looking for ideas with, hey, what do you think about this, Carl? And so it's a challenge for me, even as a goalie coach, to make sure I'm on top of my game to continue to help him.
McIntyre is fiercely competitive, loves playing goaltender, and maintains a learning attitude every day.
I think there's a lot that goes into goaltending, and maybe the average fan would see. They might see us just moving back and forth, but there's a certain save selection, there's a certain depth that you want to go in and out of your crease. There's a certain way to get your body fully in there with only shifting so much. So there's so many aspects of it that you almost have to just be a student of the game, just be knowledgeable about your position, and really just love it, because that's where you find out you have more success is when you're fully invested and doing all the little things right.
And in comes Hunter Fegis along with Taft, and McIntyre is up to the challenge. He treats his trade with care. His preparation is physical, mechanical, and mental.
Always good to have like neutral zone awareness. Kind of like another checklist would be like guys coming in, all right, left wing, there's a lefty, left wing side. You get the centerman who's a righty coming in through the middle, and another right-handed on the right side. So as those come in, you can have the 3-on-2 situation like that. You at least know where the shot might be coming from, because he's going to be a righty, so the one-timer is going to be open. If he has a lefty, you got time to get over there. there's little things like that you kind of use as a mental checklist.
Tonight, he faces the top 2 scorers in the country. And tomorrow, he'll learn if he's been named the top goaltender in the nation or the top player in the nation.
I hope so. You know, he certainly would be in my mind. Obviously, I'm biased, but you know, I just look at how he's carried our team.
But I think it's been a pretty fun ride so far, and we're not done yet, which is the best part.
Coming up next on our Frozen 4 special, one final chat with head coach Dave Hackstall as we head toward game time.
North Dakota Hockey Frozen 4 Special, presented by the University of North Dakota, the Sioux Shop inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, and American Tire and American Tire Sound.
Welcome back to our Frozen 4 in Boston with head coach Dave Hackstall. Dave, thanks for your time. We're getting close to game time here. How does your focus narrow as we get closer and closer to game time?
Well, the closer you get to game time, really the work and the details you know, are in place. And now it's a matter of, you know, really being relaxed. You know, everybody knows and understands the job at hand. Now it's getting into, you know, those final stages of individual preparation, you know, a couple of team meetings as you get into game day. And as I said, just having a clear mind and relaxed and ready to go.
I want to ask you about team building, assembling a team. Your team has first-round draft picks. Your team has former walk-ons. How do you define team building, and what do you look at when you're putting together a team?
Well, it starts with good people, great individuals, and I think we're blessed with that inside of our locker room. But a big part of it is also the history and the tradition of the program, and I think young men feel that very quickly when they come into our locker room. They become part of something that's much bigger than them, whether you know, they're an undrafted role player, a first-round draft pick to an NHL team. It really doesn't matter, and I think the players that have come before them, anytime they're back in and around the rink or in and around campus, you know, that becomes very clear to our players just in the way that you know, our alums really handle themselves and how they treat people.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. What are a couple of early indicators, early things that you would like to establish in the hockey game?
Well, for our team, it's going to be pace. We want to get out and we want to play at pace, and that's with and without the puck. You know, we're an assertive team, and from the drop of the puck, I think we're going to have to get through maybe a jitter or two in that first shift, but that's all that it needs to be. I think as we you know, as we get through any of those early jitters, keeping the game simple, get into our second and third shifts, we want to see the pace and the tenacity of our game come through.
During the course of the season and during the course of the show, Dave, you and I have talked a lot about defending in and around the paint and being aggressive offensively in and around the paint. What kind of factor do you expect that to play in the game?
Well, I think it's going to be huge. You know, BU is a strong, heavy team in the offensive zone. They have big, heavy defensemen in their own zone. So for us, it's winning the battles. It's finding ways to get pucks to the blue paint and doing it with traffic in the offensive zone. And then always playing defensively. You got to be strong in the middle of the rink, and that funnels all the way back to the top of your crease. We've got to allow our goaltender to make first saves, and we've got to be good, and we've got to be strong in and around them on second pucks.
You have last change. Any particular matchups that you might look for?
Well, the number one thing we're going to worry about is the pace and the flow and the rhythm of our team. You know, I think there will be some matchups involved, but you know, not such a specific nature that it takes our team off of its game.
Dave, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck. When we come back, Drake Kajula. He's clutch and he's dynamic. That's coming up next year on the Frozen 4 Special.
North Dakota Hockey Frozen 4 Special, presented by BioLife Plasma Services, Hugo's Family Marketplace, and Networking Specialists. North Dakota Hockey Frozen 4 Special, presented by BioLife Plasma Services, Hugo's Family Marketplace, and Networking Specialists.
Welcome back to Boston. The Paul Revere House, a reminder of a great American hero. Jack Eichel is a local hero these days, front and center on the front page of the Boston Globe. Here's Greg Inkers with more on Eichel and BU.
Boston University, like North Dakota, is in familiar territory, heading into their 22nd trip to the Frozen Four. And getting to this point has been in the Terriers' vision all season long.
I think we felt as a staff after week 2 or 3 and getting an idea of what the rest of college hockey looked like, that we had a chance to compete for a national championship, which is really all you can ask for, because once you get in the national tournament, anything can happen. You're in one-game situations.
Boston is a top-heavy team. 60% of their goals come from 4 individuals: Jack Eichel, Evan Rodriguez, Danny O'Regan, and Ati Oxenen. North Dakota is expecting to provide special awareness to those key players.
I think the biggest thing is just being aware when they're on the ice. They're great hockey players. They play really well together. We just have to be a little harder, maybe be a little more defensively sound, but also if we get a chance to make them play defense, I think that's something that our team can do.
But BU's strength can also translate into a weakness, something UND is hoping to expose on Thursday night.
We have 4 lines, 6D, and the best goaltender in the nation. You know, there's some teams they have, just like this team we're playing, BU, they have 1 line that they expect to score and probably get 2-3 goals a game for them. We have 4 lines that we expect to score.
The X factor may be the environment. North Dakota capitalized on a partisan crowd last weekend in Fargo to make it to the Frozen Four. Now the tables are turned as they ready to battle the Terriers in their own backyard.
Obviously we've had a pretty good amount of success this year at the Garden, so it'll be nice to get back on familiar ice, and I'm sure the guys will be really excited to be back in that environment.
As a team, we're excited. You know, we've always had, you know, almost more fans, home fans at away games than, you know, the other team has their fans. So it's going to be new for us, and we're excited for it. You know, we're going to feed off the negative energy, and you know, hopefully quiet the crowd.
Thank you, Greg. This is one of the historical landmarks in Boston, the USS Constitution. It was called Old Ironside because of its durability. Well, when you talk about North Dakota's leading scorer, Drake Kajula, you can use the word durable, clutch, and dynamic.
Drake's a very skilled player. He's a dynamic player, and every time he's got the puck, it's exciting. So not only can he make that fancy, nice play, he can also drive it wide and take it to the net for a dirty goal. Just a very dynamic, very dangerous player, and we're happy he's on our team.
Smoltz with the rebound. Another rebound. They score! Drake Kajula has tied the hockey game with 28 seconds left.
I'd say clutch goal over anything. I mean, making YouTube for highlight reel goals is one thing, but, you know, scoring a clutch goal to, you know, move on to the next round of playoffs or to win an overtime game or something like that, that's obviously a much bigger thing, not only for yourself, but for the team, you know.
He's a game breaker. You know, especially this time of year, you need a guy like that.
You know, I think sometimes his first move is, hey, I'm going to chip it in deep and I'm going to hit you. I'm going to knock you over. I'm going to play physical, and then when you don't want it, I'm going to put it between your legs. So. Some of the goals he scored throughout his career here, they just make you go wow, and they get the crowd off their feet, and, you know, it gets that building, you know, electrified, and it's awesome to watch.
Right out of the stick of Kajula across the Huskies line. Kajula going to that, and he scores!
I had speed coming through the middle, and you know, Gravel's a big defenseman, and, you know, I thought I was a better skater than he was, and I just thought I could put the puck between his feet there as well, and get him to turn his body as well. And luckily for me, he kind of went fishing for the puck, and was able to get it up over the goalie's shoulder pretty quick there. flightus. Just I think he turned his feet there and got his feet facing the outside towards the boards, and I was able to pull the puck between his legs. Anytime a D-man changes his feet like that, you're able to change direction on him, and he's not going to be able to keep up with you. So I just tried to get him to turn his feet like he did, and once I made that other move, I know he wouldn't be able to catch up to me. I tried to split the defense there, and the puck was kind of bouncing all over the place, and I just tried to keep it as close to me as possible. And to be honest, I don't know how it really went in. I just kind of got lucky in the 5-hole, I think.
And Kajula was clutch in the West Region, scoring goals against Quinnipiac and St. Cloud State. Coming up next on our Frozen 4 special from Boston, we'll talk with the man who will call the games this weekend on ESPN. That's John Buccigross, or Butchie, as you know him.
North Dakota Hockey Frozen 4 special, presented by the University of North Dakota, the Sioux Shop inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, and American Tire and American Tire Sound. North Dakota Hockey Frozen 4 special, presented by the University of North Dakota, the Sioux Shop inside Ralph Engelstad Arena, and American Tire and American Tire Sound.
Welcome back to Boston and our Frozen 4 special. John Buccigross will call the games this weekend on ESPN2 and ESPN with Barry Melrose. Bucci, thanks for your time. The fans back in North Dakota know you well. You hear from them often. What do you love about college hockey?
I love the intimacy of it. You know, the players, the coaches. The coaches are normal people. They're not multi-millionaires like college basketball coaches and college football coaches. And so I just feel there's more of a normalcy and intimacy. It's very engaging. And so I just love the fact that, you know, there's 59 Division I teams, 60 next year with Arizona State. And so I just love the intimacy and the accessibility. The players and the coaches are just normal people.
As I said, you hear from the North Dakota fan base quite a lot via Twitter. You find that fan base to be a unique one?
Well, they're very passionate, obviously. It's like Alabama football, or, you know, it's the biggest show in town. There's no real insurance policy. Where, you know, a BU fan, I got the Red Sox coming up, the Celtics might make the playoffs, the Bruins could have a postseason run, the Patriots just won. There's a lot of insurance, you know. You're much more invested, of course, in North Dakota. And but, you know, the Minnesota and Wisconsin, and, you know, there's a lot of good fan bases, but certainly North Dakota, the passion and is very unique. It's an interesting fan base, and they're great to talk with.
You spent a good deal of Wednesday talking with coaches and players. Anything about your conversations with the folks from North Dakota that stuck out?
They seem like, you know, it's a mission. That's kind of what they're going on. It's a business trip. Compared to last year, they felt like it was almost, you know, they're glad to be there the way they got there. And this year, it's a business trip, and they're here to do damage. They're here to win 2 games and win that national championship. It's been too long for North Dakota fans. At some point, it just feels like their time. That's how I felt like in 2009 with BU. It just felt like it was time for Jack Parker and that program to win again, you know? And it's kind of time for this team to win again. But it's tough. They're playing against the best player in college hockey. They're playing who has more than just one player. They're creative. Evan Rodriguez should be a top 10 Hobie Baker guy. He wasn't. They're playing in Boston, where BU has won the Beanpot and their tournament already. They've had a good hat and t-shirt season, and they're trying to close it out. So it's a huge challenge for them. And even if North Dakota wins and they play Providence, that would be another huge challenge. Providence is a New England team, but sometimes the bigger rewards happen from the bigger challenges, and I think that's how they should look at it.
I look at North Dakota and BU, and I think one of the things that North Dakota has to avoid is being in the penalty box too much, because when you put high-end players on the ice, like Eichel and Rodriguez and Adi Oxen in a power play situation, that's adding fuel to the fire.
Right, and Matt Grzelcyk is a phenomenal defenseman. He'll play professional hockey number 5 in red and white. You'll see him. So, yeah, you're right, time and space. And also another factor is not coming out too early, too hard if you're North Dakota, and wear yourself out. because they can't afford to get worn out at playing BU because they're the best third period team in the country.
Bucci, thanks for your time.
Oh, great to
Would
be
you
here.
like to make a pick, or do you want to go down that street?
Well,
overall, to win the whole thing.
I'm calling the games, so I really can't make predictions.
Right.
But if I had to set the odds, I would have had North Dakota as the slight favorite to win. Like I said, it's a big challenge.
Very good. Bucci, thanks for your time.
Love to be here.
You know, coming up next, we hear North Dakota players talk a lot about playing on the edge. How do they define that phrase? That's next here on the Frozen Four Special from Boston.
North Dakota Hockey Frozen Four Special, presented by BioLife Plasma Services, Hugo's Family Marketplace, and Networking Specialists.
Welcome back and inside TD Garden. Two phrases that you'll hear North Dakota players talk a lot about, and that is in a routine and playing with an edge. They certainly played with an edge at the West Region. That's why they're here at the Frozen Four. But what does playing with an edge mean? Here it is, defined by those who live it.
Edge. I think edge, especially in our locker room, is just competing. The other team is thinking, wow, like this isn't fun, and I think that's what our team has is that edge and that competitiveness to just compete and bring it every shift.
First and foremost, it's being the aggressor on the ice. You don't want to be, being influenced by the other team and adapting your style to what they do. You want to be the dominant person. You want to give them the first push and make them adapt to you, and kind of just pedal to the metal the whole game, and have that attack mentality where they're the ones that are defending you, and they have to worry about what you're doing, not the other way around.
Now we're going into basically a BU environment, and we got to kind of set the tone there as well, and kind of keep their crowd out of it. And I know is that playing with that edge, it's a mental edge, it's also a physical edge, and it's something that we have to do to be successful.
It's almost game time. UND and BU in the national semifinals. We'll recap the entire Frozen Four next week on North Dakota Hockey with Dave Haxtell. From Boston, I'm Dan Hammer. Thanks for watching.